Well, good morning. Here it is. It's Monday morning. I believe it's March the 21st. Had to look. Anyway, hope that you had a good weekend. Hope that you were doing well. Hope you had a restful weekend and ready to tackle this week. This morning, I want to bring you a devotion entitled "Don't Waste Your Pain." You know, when you use your pain, to help others, God will bless you in ways that you can't even, you can't possibly imagine. The Apostle Paul, he went through enormous pain in his life, which is why God was able to, to use him in enormous ways. He was shipwrecked, he was beaten, he was robbed, he went through, he went without food, water, and sleep. Yet God, he used Paul to spread the gospel throughout the Roman Empire. I mean, in fact, if you were to ask Paul, how'd you put up with so much pain? I think he would tell you that, it was because he wanted to bring people, to Jesus Christ. He wanted to help others. Paul said in 2 Corinthians 4:15, these sufferings of ours are for your benefit, and the more the more of you who are won to Christ, the more there are to thank him for his great kindness, and the more the Lord is glorified. You may never suffer, the same in the same ways that Paul did, but you will go through pain of some sort in your life, and so you might as well use your pain, for good and not waste it. I mean, there are actually three kinds of suffering that God uses to help others. There's self-imposed suffering, innocent suffering, and then redemptive suffering. Some suffering is the kind that you bring upon yourself. You cause some of your own problems, by making poor judgments. You don't always maybe eat, the right foods. I'm guilty of probably both of those. Make the right decisions, guilty, or respond to the right way, in the right way to others. Innocent suffering is when, through no fault of your own, you get hurt by someone else. Whether you were abandoned, rejected, or even scammed, everyone has been hurt by, the sins of other people. But the highest form of suffering is redemptive suffering. And this is when you go through pain or problems for the benefit of others. And this is what Jesus did. When he died on the cross, he didn't deserve to die. Listen, he went through that pain, for your benefit so that you can be saved and go to heaven. In the same way, God will use your pain to bring hope and healing, to other people. Who can better help somebody, going through a bankruptcy than somebody who has gone through a bankruptcy? Who can better help somebody that's struggling with an addiction than somebody, who's struggled with an addiction? Who can better help parents of a special needs child, than parents who have raised a special needs child? Who can better help somebody who's lost a child than somebody who lost a child? You see, God will never waste a hurt. God will work in your life, so that he can work through you to encourage others. That's how God works. He works through us in our various pains and our various sufferings and whatever it is that we've gone through in order to help someone else. Praise God and rejoice, during a trial. I know that sounds strange, but we can rejoice in those trials because, you see, suffering will build your endurance and it will help others, in their pain and what they're going through. You see, God can use all three kinds of sufferings, for good. I pray that we would start by giving each of our hurts to him and say, God, I want you to use my pain to benefit others. I truly believe if we would do that, we would give up all these whatever pains and trials that we go through, and say, Lord, use that to help somebody. God will be glorified in all of this, and that's the key. We want to glorify God in everything that we do, and so we can glorify God even in those trials and those pains that we go through by allowing Him to use that to help someone else. And so I hope that's what you do today. I hope that maybe through something you're going through right now, you're able to help somebody else. And anyway, remember, Angie and I, we love you guys, and we're praying for you. And Lord willing, I'll see you tomorrow morning. God bless you.